Hey now, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Insert Adjective Here gaming podcast. I am your host, a guy that looks like some redhead dude. I am joined by a tall drink of man, Lou Weber. How you doing?
Hey guys, what's up?
I am also joined by Mr. Long Tan and Handsome himself, Paul Demling. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right. I think I already have an adjective for this week, and I think it's going to be silent. And I'm describing myself because Destiny beta came out this week for Destiny 2, and I got nothing to say on it. So I'm going to sit back and let Lou ramble for a while.
Yes.
All right. So now for this segment, hopefully on YouTube you're seeing some play from Destiny 2 beta. Zakk. So I got into Destiny 2 beta on PS4 yesterday and uh, got into it. Got to see get a good taste of what they've been working on, and quality wise, it looks fantastic. It feels like Destiny. It feels like a Destiny game. It handles like a Destiny game. Gunplay is still just as crisp. With the beta, they had available. They have available to play the opening mission called Homecoming, where you get to see the initial attack of the Cabal. For those who don't know, Destiny 2 is based on the Cabal attacking the tower and the last city, and the main villain Dominus Gaul. He believes that the light that the Traveler had given to the human race, he believes that the Traveler was wrong in his choice, and he says, basically the Cabal, hey, we're stronger, we're better. So they basically go and they capture, they put some kind of big device on the Traveler and block its light from the Guardians, so we lose all our powers, and they take control. So the game is looks to be a lot about finding our strength and winning back the light, getting back our light and our power, all while trying to defeat Dominus Gaul. They had a few locations available. They had two Crucible maps, and they also had a Strike available to play. Now, the Strike, I mainly play PvE. I don't get into PvP a whole lot, so I don't play a whole lot of Crucible. But the Strike is the inverted spire, and it takes place on a planet called Nessus. Very Vex transformed world in one of their machinations, kind of like the feel of the planet. It feels like the Black Garden from the first Destiny, where it just has that aesthetic to it. So you get to go see the Cabal also attacking the Vex and drilling into this planet. Pretty good strike. That should be the video that you're watching on YouTube, you YouTube watchers out there. This is me. That's me playing through some of the Inverted Spire Strike. Kind of pushes right into the start. I don't know if it's completely finished. Again, it is a beta, so there are a lot of things that will change. It's not going to be the final product. It's basically just a taste of what it's going to be. Probably a little bit of getting feedback from bugs as far as the team goes. They're going to see how everything feels. Look at feedback from players. The Crucible maps. So the Crucible changes for PvP. Now 4v4 teams instead of the two options of either 6v6 or 3v3. Every Crucible mode now is 4 against 4. A couple of the changes that I noticed. At the top of the screen, there is the score overlay, and it also has the class of each character on the team. So a little information there on the other team, whereas before you didn't really know until you would get killed by another player or something. You'd find out what their class was that they just killed you with. But it felt like a Destiny game. It felt pretty appropriate. There's a few things that need tweaking here and there. There's a lot more to discover. Everyone was able to get a taste of the new subclasses, the Titans, Sentinel, the Hunter, Arcstrider, and the Warlock. I actually don't remember what the name of the Warlock subclass is because I didn't play it. I main a Titan, so I got to play Captain America for a little bit and run around with a shield and throw my shield at people. There's a lot of content on YouTube. I will be publishing on YouTube. I'm gonna mash up some of my clips together and check out what is all revealed, what we can kind of pick out of it. But at the same time, you got to temper your expectations with a beta because a lot of things will change. They're still basically in a testing phase where they're close to the release. The release is September 8th for Destiny 2, so we're still a couple months away. But this is a good look of where they've come in this time so far after all the hype and speculation about what's going to be in it. It looks it's a lot of what they revealed at E3 is available to play. No patrols yet, so we're not able to see any of the new features and the new open world features. Just some strikes and some Crucible play. So, Paul, are you into Destiny at all? You ever played Destiny?
So I've played it very briefly on friend's PlayStation because I don't have one. So I played the first Destiny, but I'm really looking forward to this one because it's coming to PC. And I haven't gotten a chance to check out the beta yet, and I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like I have to pre-purchase it to get the beta early access, which I'm not the hugest fan of, but it I might make like a pre-purchase exception for Destiny just because it's Destiny and not like I'm not taking a chance on like No Man's Sky or something like that,
Right.
where I just
This is it's an established franchise at least.
yeah, this is established franchise, and it sounds like they're making logical moves, not like drastically changing their formula or anything like that. Like, honestly, that's kind of how was the downfall of Halo, where they had such a good original formula, and then they just Call of Duty-fied it, and that just didn't really work out.
And the early Halo games, those were Bungie. So
Yeah.
that Bungie's gonna with this franchise, Bungie's gonna do their best to take care of it, and they're really all about putting out the best quality product possible. Now, the start of Destiny 1, that's kind of a different story. It was a new go for Bungie with Destiny. It's kind of a spiritual successor to their Halo, but it was a rocky start to the first Destiny because there were changes in with some of their staff with the story. The story had changed drastically just from the beta to the release. If people remember, there were a lot of things had to change because they had some story people leave. I believe it was the story lead had quit and then just walked out, and they kind of got screwed over. And that was one of the big criticisms from Destiny 1 was their very shallow and disconnected story. Didn't always make a whole lot of sense. And I am excited with Destiny 2. They are expanding a lot on the story. They're focusing a lot on the campaign. They're working the lore of the Destiny universe into the actual game instead of when you find something, it gives you a Grimoire card, go to this website and read about it. I'm glad that there's no more of that because that was just kind of unnecessary. And although I did, go look at things, and there were sites like the Ishtar Collective, they called themselves. They, put together all this data they got from the Grimoire cards and from the world, and put it all in an easy, readable, easily searchable site. But with the story being worked more into the world now, there's less work for the average player to do to find out the lore and the story of the Destiny universe.
That's awesome because I know that can really create a barrier where much more casual gamers will just feel like lost and like they didn't really get the full experience, but they also don't want to, put in that extra effort that I can see making like, I don't know, involving other platforms and stuff would how that could potentially seem like a really cool feature. I think to most average gamers, that's just kind of tedious to say the least.
Yeah, it makes the immersion of the Destiny world. It makes that more accessible to people.
Yeah.
Instead of having to redirect them other places and making them put in the extra effort when the casual gamer, they're not going to want to do that. They're going to want to play the game and get the experience they get out of just the game.
Right.
So this will make it I think easier. It'll make it easier for especially the newer players that maybe didn't get Destiny 1 or maybe even just the players that can just casually play Destiny 1 and, weren't a fan because, it was kind of a discombobulated story. It makes it easier for them to really get into the game and, kind of sink themselves into that world and be a little more immersed by it.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Lou, and I think you'll be able to answer this now that you played some of the beta. So I've seen the reveal image, and I have a few theories on what's going to go on in this story. So let me know if I'm right, and Paul, feel free to chime in if you've seen the image. So I see a big number 2 in the middle. So my guess is this is a sequel. Is that correct?
There is a 2 in the picture because it is Destiny 2.
Okay, so we're good there.
By
and
God.
I see a planet there as well. Am I to understand that this one is going to take place on a planet as well?
Well, it depends. Do you think that the Traveler is a planet?
Well, I don't know because I see some smoke coming out.
Because usually the big circle, the big thing in the sky is the Traveler. The big ball in the sky. That's the Traveler.
Okay. So I've narrowed it down to a couple of things. It's either going to be on a planet, on multiple planets, or in space. And I think it's a sequel to Destiny, so that's how I'm interpreting this.
Well, it is on a planet. It is on multiple planets and some moons, actually.
Wow! Okay, so more than I thought it was.
So location-wise, so we got Earth. So the original Destiny 1, the Earth locations were in old Russia, called the Cosmodrome. And now with the Cabal attack on the last city, which was there, we now find ourselves, the human race. Basically, it's a battle that we lost. So that's basically what the first mission is. This battle you fight to try to save the tower, fight off this invasion, but ultimately you lose because you lose your light. And so, what's left of humanity in the last city and the Guardians, everyone had to flee. And so everyone kind of got scattered. And so that's, it looks like, at least the start of the campaign it'll be, getting everyone back together, finding everyone, and kind of forming, your resistance and your counterattack. So the Earth location is the European Dead Zone. Now there was a Crucible map in Destiny 1, one or two that were in the European Dead Zone. So this location actually was scrapped from Destiny 1. And it was just made into a Crucible map. So it'll be interesting to see some of the facets of the European Dead Zone, what they do with it, how everything looks, remnants of, the old human society, and seeing how the new society starts to build. The social space in this location is going to be called the Farm. And that's kind of where a lot of people had fled to, and people are starting to rebuild and kind of gather themselves after this big loss. And I think it'll be neat to see. They did say that this map is supposedly it's a big open world map, and it is going to supposedly be at least twice as big as any of the Destiny 1 open areas. And the other couple planets, Nessus, like I mentioned before, which is where the inverted spire strike is, I noted that was it was a Vex world that's being completely transformed into a big Vex machine. Because that's what the Vex do. The Vex, Zakk, are time-traveling robots, so kind of like Terminators, kind of not. But they're all one mind, sort of. It gets a little murky. But it's a machinist, it's a machinist world. Everything's squarish and metally and whatnot. The other two worlds are Io, one of, I believe it's one of Saturn's moons or Jupiter's moons. I can't remember.
It's your mama's moon.
Your mama's moon. Io is,
but Io is
Jupiter.
Very sulfuric world. So I guess it's a very strange landscape. I guess there's all kind of like geysers and sulfuric pools and all kind of stuff like that. And the last one.
Yeah, this moon does not look welcoming.
Oh, what the heck was this? What the heck was this last map here? I'll have to.
It looks like a petri dish. that has a like E. coli or something on it. It's very green.
Okay, let's see.
Well, while you're thinking of that, Lou, I have
Here.
probably the most important question about Destiny 2. Do we
Right.
have Dinklebot?
No.
Nope, I'm out. I don't want it anymore.
Dinklebot is all dead. It's all Nolan Northbot now.
Nope,
Ugh.
I'm done. I don't want it anymore.
Unplayable.
It's all Nolan North.
Literally
Yep,
unplayable.
zero.
I know.
0 out of 10.
I actually did like Dinklebot. I was a fan of Dinklebot.
Ugh.
So Titan. Okay, so Io's moon of Jupiter, and the other location, the fourth one, is Titan, which is the moon of Saturn.
Right? Yeah.
Now Titan, I believe, is the one where it's basically just a giant sea of methane. It's a methane sea, methane ocean, and the world is basically all on all of these what look like oil rigs, but it's all these. Or I don't know, for you Star Wars people, there was some planet, because I remember playing Battlefront 2, there was that one planet where, you were just on all these pedestals on this, over this giant ocean.
Oh,
So it looks kind of like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see these new locations and see, how crazy Bungie was able to go, using, now that, they're no longer, because Destiny, it started on with Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. So without those constraints of the older generations and being able to use, the full power and, these, there's less limitation now using the new gen consoles. So I'm really excited to see what they're able to do.
Now remind me, what did you say the release date was for it?
That is September 8th.
Wow, because PC is it's saying October 24th, which
Of course it is.
well, yeah, but that's like what they did with GTA, and there's also sometimes extra features. They tend to try and optimize it as much as possible, and I'm like really excited to try it on PC, but also very wary of it because I know anytime any game gets ported to PC, like the first week is just hell. It's like unplayable with just all the things they have to smooth over, and it's just patch after patch. But I'm kind of hoping it proves me wrong, and it's fun to play from the get-go, and they're able to get it right and everything.
Yeah, and that's and Paul, that's it releases on console September 8th and PC on October 24th.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so probably due to them not being on the PC platform before, probably some extra steps to take to shore all of that up.
Yeah,
Where
definitely.
they're always console ready.
I can cut out blank spaces.
Of course. So yeah, so the Destiny 2 beta. That's basically all the news that I got. Keep an eye out on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, and our Twitter for when I post up my analysis of the Destiny 2 beta.
Sweet.
Will it be as good as my analysis of the Destiny 2 photo?
I don't know, because you were.
It will be slightly more in depth than your photo analysis, but
I thought I was pretty spot on.
Some parties might call you wrong. Just laying that out there. And some may say very wrong. Even while trying to include all of existence as stages for this game to take place.
You can conclude that it probably has more depth than No Man's Sky.
Yeah. Well, that's not hard to do.
Nope. I think Redneck Deer Hunting might have more depth than No Man's Sky.
Redneck deer hunting is just... It's a kingdom of a game. You can do everything. Best hunting game ever, says Kyle.
Our buddy Kyle has not played more than 0.2 hours since the last podcast. I checked.
Oh, Kyle. When will you get back from your hate rallies to play more Redneck Deer Hunting?
I'm going to put it on my wish list, and when it goes on sale, you're going to see some videos of Redneck Deer Hunting.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, this is our Redneck Deer Hunting podcast.
I would love to do, like, every now and then a spoiler cast for a game. Like, I know Jeremy wants to really talk Undertale sometime. So, Paul, I don't know if you've finished it yet, but that would be cool.
I should, yeah.
We
I
could,
still haven't started it.
oh, it's so good. You got to play it.
Yeah, I know.
And then we can all get redneck deer hunting and talk about that for a
Yeah.
whole show.
And any of you listeners, anyone listening out there, if you've played Redneck Deer Hunter, we want to hear from you. Leave some comments for us and give us the lowdown on
It's,
Redneck Deer Hunter.
it's just going to be
We
Kyle.
want to know.
We'll get the guy we bash.
I don't know if we bashed him. We just called him out. We called it
True.
like it is.
He's a reliable punchline, at least.
Oh, Kyle. So, Paul, what have you been playing recently?
Looks great. What was that?
What have you been playing recently?
So of course lots of PUBG, but I talked about that a lot last time. So I'll talk about Animal Crossing Wild World for the Nintendo DS.
Love it. Let's hear about it.
All right. I played a whole lot of Animal Crossing on GameCube. Like, I'm trying to remember. Anyway, it was when the GameCube was really big, and my girlfriend gave me her old Nintendo DS, so I decided to pick up Animal Crossing again. And looking at that game through adult eyes, I've developed some conspiracy theories. So,
Okay.
first of all, Tom Nook is just capitalist swine. He obviously is the shadow master of the entire town. My town is called Cool. There's 6 O's, I think. So it's really cool.
Okay.
But Tom Nook, as soon as you move in, he gives you a closet of a house, charges you 10,000 bells, which, I mean, that's kind of fair. So you gather, you literally go outside and catch bugs and fish and pick up stuff to sell to him. And he's like, I suppose this is acceptable payment for the lodging I've provided for you. So as soon as you pay off your house, you're like, sweet, I'm not in debt anymore. He expands it, barely, might I add, and then he charges you 120,000 bells, and you're like, what? I never agreed to this. And it's just this cycle, and it feels like you're in Half-Life 2, where these people are just stuck in these crappy living quarters. And also, he's probably a black wizard, because the house... What?
I need to point out that when I played, was it New Leaf that came out a couple years ago? As soon as I started and I bought my first couple house upgrades and I talked to Tom Nook, he was who I aspired to be in my life.
All right, Zakk, I fear you and your political aspirations, but that's beside the point right now. So anyway, the house is way bigger on the inside than it is the outside. It's some Harry Potter stuff going on there. But the weirdest part is, like, there's people, there's obviously people who live in the town, well, they're animals, but whatever. And then one day you'll just walk in their house and everything's packed up and they're ready to move. And it's like they're trying to escape this capitalist hell that they're trapped in, that Tom Nook has trapped them in. And he obviously has the puppet mayor, who's just this old turtle that he totally is, like, in control of. This senile old man who just, like, runs the bug catching competition or whatever random stuff. But Tom Nook obviously carries the power. And I've just carrying through this game. It's lost its innocence for me. You can just Google Tom Nook capitalist. Top result is Tom Nook is an evil capitalist psychopath. Not even joking.
That's me. Fun fact, Nintendo actually got their inspiration for the character of Tom Nook by doing an interview with me. So, in case y'all didn't know that, you're welcome.
Zakk,
I am the reason you have Animal Crossing.
You're the reason that you're trapped in this small town that people are trying to escape from.
Can never leave.
The cake's a lie. Always remember, the cake is a lie.
Oh, man. I'd rather be trapped in
Just
Portal
remember,
than Animal Crossing.
Just remember, only get in a van with strangers if they offer you candy.
Oh man, I'm looking at related.
That is the only acceptable lore.
There's related searches for Tom Nook capitalist, and one is Tom Nook a man in a raccoon suit? This
I
rabbit hole
hope
goes
so.
deep. I'm afraid I'll
God,
find
I
some
hope it
weird
is.
fandom. Some
You should copy and paste that article and send it to MatPat on Game Theory and see what he's got.
I'm sure there's so. I've seen videos where they talk about how evil Tom Nook is, and I'm inclined to agree.
I like him, but I mean that's just me, and I'm a friendly person. So.
So what have you been playing lately, Zakk?
Well, hey.
Oh hey, what, Lou?
I mean, if he's that much of a capitalist swine, he fits right in with the American ideals, right?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
He fits right in.
Yeah.
Is it that popular in America? I don't know. I don't play on Animal Crossing. How popular of a game is Animal Crossing?
I feel like it's a pretty popular game, and I wonder. This is like pure honesty right now. I wonder if they like made a capitalist type game to appeal to the American.
Oh, they absolutely did. This is only sold in America.
That's marketing right there. Just put a capitalist in it. But not to get political.
So, Zakk, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing?
Yes.
Oh, a little known gem called Dark Souls 3. Yeah, I'm still playing Soul Level 1, and I'm still regretting almost every minute of it. But I'm continuing to progress, so I'll call it a win. I just beat the Crystal Sage, and it took about 50 tries. I think the video has it. It's on YouTube. Oh, I'm gone. And I'm back, I think.
I watched.
Oh, am I back?
You never left.
Oh, Paul
I
left.
heard
I
you
thought
the
it was
whole
me. I'll cut that part out, maybe. If I feel like it. Yeah, so I have a video of the Crystal Sage fighting up on YouTube. If anyone's interested to check it out. It's not great. It did not go very well for me.
I watched it, and you were talking up like, oh yeah, Crystal Sage, he's not that hard. I've beaten him a bunch of times before, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah.
Yeah, well, Paul, back me up on this. How easy is the Crystal Sage?
Well, it's got like 0 defense, but even at a higher level, that's one of the bosses that is just frustratingly, it like does so much damage. It can like 2 hit you at a higher level. It's easy once you know how to beat it. So I guess it should be one of the easiest ones for you to beat, I guess, because you played it before and stuff. But it's one of those ones that until you figure out how to beat it, it just keeps killing you for sure.
Oh, that's not how Zakk made it sound. He goes, "Oh yeah, the first time I beat him, I killed him without dying at all.
What?
He's only killed me one time ever."
Yeah, my first round against the Sage, I beat him on the first try, but I got lucky with my RNG in that he always spawned wherever I happened to be, so I didn't really have to run around to find the Sage.
Okay. No, I think you and I have different play styles, though.
Yes.
I kind of just charge at him and keep hitting, and then I die, and then I Google how to beat the boss. And that's how I play Dark Souls.
Yeah, no. I had a really tough time on Soul Level 1 because, fun fact, you have no magical resistance even when you wear magic resistant armor. I'm pretty sure From screwed that up just as much as they screwed up Poise, because Poise doesn't work in Dark Souls 3, so why would magic resistance work? So I had 1 hit, maybe 2 before I would die, and it was just balls hard. It was ridiculously hard to dodge everything going on in that arena. It was a mess. So I'm masochist is all I'll get out, and I'm gonna keep going through. I really don't know why, but I'm just gonna keep going and see what happens. And on top of that, I've been playing some Bravely Default, if either of you have heard of that.
Bravely Default? What's that?
So it's a 3DS game. It's from Square Enix. And it's actually a game where they finally went back to their roots to a turn-based combat system. And it is phenomenal. All of the characters are adorable. I mean, just absolutely adorable. The voice acting is terrific. The story is very below subpar. It's the same story Square Enix has for almost every single Final Fantasy game. 4 crystals in the elements, blah, 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 save the world. But the battle system is awesome. And for a turn-based game, it's definitely a nice, refreshing step. And the big hook behind it is in the title. You can either brave or default for the round, and brave allows you to use up an extra battle point to which you are able to attack like 3 or 4 times in a row with that particular character instead of everyone attacking once or one person putting up a defense, which is default. You can keep saving up battle points or spend extra battle points to progress your turn, and it really changes up the combat. I'm also a sucker for any RPG that has a job system, and the job system is a lot of fun.
So you're all about Final Fantasy, or you would be at least.
I would be. I can't get into some of them. I would like the older ones. Final Fantasy VII, I've seen some play of it, and quite frankly, it just doesn't appeal to me. It looks really slow going. I have to find
Final
the right
Fantasy
kind of
VII is, from what I hear, as far as fans talking about Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy VII is like the favorite of the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
And they are coming out with the Final Fantasy VII remake very soon, I believe.
Nope. It's you'd be lucky to get it by 2020.
You think?
You think it will take that
yes,
long?
Absolutely. I 100% believe it will take that long.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet by
Speaking
episode 200 of this podcast, Final Fantasy will still not be released.
Speaking of remakes, that was Final Fantasy VII remake. Speaking of remakes or remasters, I did recently get the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy just yesterday, actually.
Oh shoot!
And so I got into that, some shenanigans into Crash Warped, and man, the nostalgia is real. I jumped into that thing like I'd never stopped playing. It was crazy. The muscle memory was all still there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it actually controls really, really close to, I mean, it's a simple game. It's a simple platform, ultimately. But, yeah, I jumped right into Warped. That was my game back then, and I may do a playthrough series where I just play through 1, 2, and 3 straight from beginning to end. Might do a little video series on that, so keep an eye out.
Nice.
Some new vids. If you like some Crash Bandicoot, want to check out the remaster.
So.
Whoa.
What?
Isn't that what Crash says? Doesn't he go,
is it?
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, like when he dies or something, I could say.
Okay, cool.
Not just he doesn't just sit there and do it like you've been.
Wait, does Aku go "Ooga still?
He goes Ubraga.
So the Insane trilogy, I'm looking at it now. Crash. So it's got the original Cortex Strikes Back and Warped. And I think Warped was the one I played so many times. I just that was probably one of the first games I perfected. Like every single level, I got every single freaking peach. And I think they're peaches, right? Crash fruits.
Wampa fruits.
They're Wumpa fruit.
Wumpa fruits. Yep. They're peaches.
Wumpa fruits.
You sure they're not apples?
Wumpa fruits aren't what's required. You go after all the crystals, gems, and relics.
I think they're chicken hearts.
Yeah.
Wumpas don't really matter. Wumpas just give you extra lives when you get to 100.
Okay.
And the counter starts over. But yeah, I mean that's what I did when I played it back in the day. I mean, heck, even my mom used to play it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was it's a classic. Crash is he was the first real mascot for Sony with PS1.
Oh, for sure.
As far as the gaming goes, and it's funny because I do you guys know the story behind Fake Crash?
I do not. Please embellish.
Nope. Well, in a lot of these games, in a lot of the places, and even in the remaster here, you will find in some levels fake Crash, which is a Crash Bandicoot with really weird looking teeth and like big bushy eyebrows that look just like really messy, and he just looks like an imposter Crash.
Oh wow,
And
he's ugly.
he was actually my favorite character to play as in Crash Team Racing. He was an unlockable character once you did. I believe it was like so many time trial things and whatnot. But I would always like to play as Fake Crash. But he appears in a lot of the games kind of in the background. It's like little Easter egg things. You just kind of see him like in one of the Wave Runner levels in Warped. You can find him on one of the islands, like on a random part on one of the islands, just doing like his little fake Crash dance. So the story is that I can't remember if it was Naughty Dog or if it was the Sony people, but there was a really poorly made knockoff doll of Crash Bandicoot. I believe it was in Japan that they had found it, and they liked it so much they thought it was so funny that they actually put it into the game. And so he's made recurring appearances throughout the games, just just hidden in the background doing his little, he does a little different dance than Crash. Crash Bandicoot has his own little victory dance there.
Yeah.
Fake Crash has his own. It looks like a lethargic Macarena, similar to that. But it's I just thought it was pretty funny that Vicarious Visions continued that, and they actually put him in the remaster also.
That's awesome. I love it when companies have good humor about, pirated, I guess I should say knockoff versions of their characters and all that. Like I don't know even how to make this logical leap. It's just where my mind went. But if you guys heard of the game Serious Sam, I'm pretty sure it's Serious Sam. If you pirate that game,
oh, that sounds familiar.
if you pirate that game, instead of just being, I don't know, like the game not working or something, it at the very beginning it constantly spawns in this invincible scorpion man that just kills you right away, and you can't do anything about it. So you can't play the game if you pirated it, and I guess like you need the CD key or whatever. But they somehow detect it's a pirated version, and I just remember because my friend had gotten that game and he was showing it to me, but he had pirated it, and he just kept trying to play, and he kept dying from this big scorpion man at the very beginning. But it's just funny when they get creative with the whole knockoffs or pirating or anything. I think it like really speaks to the company rather than them just, I don't know, legally going after someone.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of I just Google imaged Serious Sam, and yeah, I recognize the bomb logo there. So yeah, I have seen it before. I've seen it played. I've never played it myself or anything like that, but it seems basically like another version of Duke Nukem.
Yeah. Essentially, it's like Duke Nukem or Bulletstorm. It's just like a shoot 'em up game, and you can Google Serious Sam Pirate Scorpion, and you'll see the Scorpion, and you'll see some funny videos because I think the Scorpion's got like super speed and everything. But yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's
Oh
a
snap!
DRM feature.
Oh snap!
Yeah,
That's not just your run of the mill Scorpion there.
yeah,
It's like a dude. It's like a humanoid Scorpion. Like
yeah.
Man, I don't even know what to compare it to, but it's got the the spider legs, the human body, but like the claw hands and the big freaking tail. Yeah, that's mean. So yeah, that's one way to combat the pirates. What's funny though is when you think of googling pirate scorpion,
Yeah.
just alone, just not Serious Sam. Like if you just Google pirate scorpion, it'll come up. There's also a cartoon picture of a scorpion holding a sword and has a bandana. That's the kind of pirate scorpion they should have put in.
I see exactly what you mean.
Oh, fantastic.
I've determined to say no more words today.
You're determined to say no more words? All right. Well, I'll talk about the game Paint the Town Red. It's a game I got on the Steam sale because I love the Steam sales because you get really obscure games cheap. And so typically I'll just search whatever games are multiplayer. And a lot of times they sell them in 4-packs or something like that. Or I'll just tell my cousin or friends to get it. So anyway, this game, Paint the Town Red. If you're unaware of the gaming sensation Minecraft, it's a
Never
lot.
heard of it.
Well, these characters look like the main character from Minecraft. They're big box
Steve?
heads with boxy features. They're just box people essentially. And but anyway, the whole point of this game is
Oh yeah, I've seen this game. I've watched some YouTube videos. I watched Critical play this one.
oh,
Actually.
he has.
Paint the
It's a
Town
really
Red.
fun game. It's also surprisingly difficult. I thought it'd just be like a stupid game that me and my friend could play. But essentially, you pick a setting, and I think there's biker bar, pirate island, and shoot, what else? Oh yeah, there's a jail one. But anyway, the place is full of the typical people you'd find there, and they're all like doing their typical thing. So like at the bar, there's a bunch of people sitting drinking at the bar. There's a bartender. There's kitchen workers in the kitchen, and until you throw the first punch, everything's going normal. But then as soon as you hit someone, all hell breaks loose, and everyone just starts killing each other. And they do target you slightly more, but it's a lot of people killing just each other, NPCs killing NPCs as well. And it's actually a really fun game just to mess around with. I've considered making a drinking game out of it. Like each kill you get, you have to take a sip or something, which would make it like loads more fun. But it's I'm fairly certain it's in beta right now. I'll go to the store page real quick. But
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's early access.
yeah, it's an early access game, but it's, let's see, what is it, like $10-15 right now? Yeah, $15.
$15.99.
It's totally worth it. It's just such a like fun game, and it's fairly unique at least. And it's just like, it's why I love playing on Steam. Just I get access to all these random indie games that like, it just gives you something so different to play that you wouldn't find in like, a Call of Duty or something like that. But Paint the Town Red is really fun, and there's a lot of like first there's also powers. So like, if you kill enough people, you can slam your fist together and throw people away from you like you're Super Saiyan Goku. There's gore pixel graphics, or I guess it would be voxel, yeah. Pretty much break into smaller red cubes. But I'm just watching the video right now. It's so fun. There's like all these little Easter eggs, like you can kick someone into water off a dock and a shark will come eat them. It's just so entertaining and fun to play. It's definitely something I suggest checking out. There's also arena mode where you can play in a gladiator style arena and just kill people on random traps in there. It's a fun game.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I've seen videos of it, and it looks like a good time. It just looks like one of those games where it's just madness. It's just all total madness. If you want to talk about making a drinking game out of video games, you're talking to the two champs right here.
Yeah, you got nothing on us, Paul.
Oh man.
You guys played a lot of.
You want to divulge the details, Zakk?
Sure, I'll break my silence for this. So, Lou and I have played one of the most classics out there, and it is Dragon Ball Z Sagas. Have you ever heard of it, Paul?
Yes.
All right, it's terrible. The game sucks. It's so bad.
Really?
But what you
It's really
can do,
bad.
yeah, it's really bad. It's horrible. But what you can do is play co-op. And one of
Oh yeah.
and as Lou and I are playing this game, we were just sitting there drinking a couple of beers, and we unlocked some power ups. Wow, that allow us to do teleportation and use our big wave special attacks like the Kamehameha and stuff like that. So we turned it into a drinking game, and the whole point of the drinking game is for both of us to charge up Kamehamehas. One of us teleports, hits the enemy, the other teleports and hits the same enemy with the same blast. Meanwhile, while you're holding down these Kamehamehas, everything's in slow motion. So all of this cool stuff we're doing, teleporting everywhere, we're both hitting this enemy with big special attacks. In game, it's like half a second. So as soon as we both hit him, we pause the game and take a drink. And then as soon as we unpause the game, we're both charging up our attacks again to do the same thing. So when you get into boss fights, it's
it was
like
the vicious
constant
cycle.
drinking. It is just constant.
So we that first time we did it, we had a case. We had a whole 30 rack of Red's Apple Ale. Why were we drinking Red's Apple Ale in college? I don't know. Couldn't
Oh,
tell
I
you.
know
It's
why.
just what we had at the time.
I know exactly why. You remember my roommate?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the why.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
had like 3 of them, and he was drunk.
After,
Lou and I drank
what,
the other
2?
20.
We had like the other 28.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man, we killed that case in
Oh, it was like 2 hours most.
an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just one. It was ridiculous every time. Perfect combo, like perfect teleport combo every time. Like every couple seconds, like it was crazy.
Yeah, it got to
was
the point where we actually couldn't play the
ridiculous.
game anymore. We were getting nowhere because there were so many mob enemies, and we weren't killing them with our attacks. We were just constantly pausing to drink.
Yeah, that was more. We were pausing to drink more than we were doing actual gameplay.
Yeah. Yep, very true.
Oh man, if this is the subject we're going down now, really fun game to drink and play with. It's fun to play with a bunch of friends to just like spectate as well. Is Amnesia:
PUBG.
The Dark Descent? What did you
Oh.
say?
PUBG.
PUBG. Yeah, that game is really fun to drink and play. But Amnesia: The Dark Descent, if you can play it over loudspeakers and all like huddle around a computer in a dark room and have someone play, it gets really intense because everyone really gets into it. It's
Paul,
what's that?
Paul, do we have a story for you?
Does it include Amnesia or a bunch of guys in a dark room drinking?
The latter part and a scary game.
Is it Outlast?
It is not.
Oh.
Lou, would you like to fill in our friend here on this?
Yeah. So you know how Zakk always says, "My slender friend."
Yes.
Well, that's because for about a semester and a half, I became Slender Man. We played Slender Man. We got into it, and we started getting all our friends into it. And we would go through the whole spiel, like, "Oh, have you heard of Slender Man? Like, you hear about this urban legend of this this guy, this Slender Man." Would show them like this documentary film, and stuff, and get them all into it and all believe it, like, "Oh my god," and we'd get them to play the game. So we'd have a bunch of friends in the room there. I ended up getting a white morph suit. And I would wear a suit over it, so I'd look just like Slenderman. I was tall, skinny guy. I was just like Slenderman, and so I would hide out. I'd hide in the dorm bathroom. It was like by the front door, but I'd be able to like hide like behind the shower curtain or whatever. So we'd get a bunch of our friends in the room and everything, and no one would know I was there. And they'd start playing Slender. They'd do the whole thing. Watch the documentary, or whatever. Get everyone into that mood. Little jumpy and all that. So they'd start playing Slender Man, have someone go through it, and get real intense at points. And I'd sneak out. It'd be all dark. I'd have the lights out. I'd sneak out of the bathroom, sneak up behind someone, and like put my hand on their shoulder or something. Then turn and look and just see Slender Man standing there. and man, we got some good reactions out of that. We had we had this one guy. We had this one dude jump off the couch and into another friend's arms. Made a girl cry.
Yeah, we did.
I mean,
Sorry,
it
Candace.
was
You had it coming though.
it's fantastic.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was great.
Also down the same vein, have you guys seen the YouTube videos? I guess they're a couple years old now. 12 drunk guys play Outlast.
Nope, but it sounds great.
That sounds like a good time.
It's so good. Oh my gosh. Or sorry, it's 11 drunk guys play Outlast. If you search on YouTube,
that's one less. That's not as fun.
11 drunk guys play Outlast and poo-poo their pants.
Do they actually poo-poo their pants?
I sure hope not.
Because that would be better.
If
they actually did.
See, I don't like horror games or movies or anything fitting of that genre, but it's really fun to drink and play with people who who don't like those games either, because it just makes it so much more fun and you get way more invested, and the jump scares are like that much jumpier because you have like 4 or 5 people jumping at the same thing, and then you gotta push forward, and like it just makes the experience of horror games a lot more fun, I think.
Yeah, those are always the best. When you're all huddled around, the screen or whatever, the TV, and going through a scary hallway or something like that, and somebody thinks they see something but no one else does, so one person jumps and that makes everybody else freak out, but nothing actually happened.
Didn't that happen to was that Riddleman, Lou, where he was playing Slender and he thought he saw something, so he dropped the mouse and keyboard. Meanwhile, we don't even have a single page,
yeah,
so Slenderman's not after you yet.
Was that when? I think that was when we were having one person to control the mouse and the other do the keyboard.
Yeah, Riddleman dropped the mouse. He's like, "I'm out here." I'm like, "Dude, I can't move anywhere without you."
We're like, "Oh, we can't." He's like, "Get away, get away!" And we're just like, "We can't see you drop the mouse."
Riddleman.
Oh my
god.
Another fun game. Well, this is one that's just fun to play with someone else. Keep talking and nobody explodes.
I want to play that.
So the whole idea of the game is, I think like the purpose is you're in the same room, but you can just as easily play on Skype or Discord. And I feel like that works better. But on one person's screen, they have a briefcase with a bomb, and it's got all these like puzzles on it. And then someone else is on the website, and they have, I think it's a 23-page manual, and you need to like describe every single thing to them, and then they need to scroll through the manual, and the manual's in sections. It's not as tedious as it sounds. So each page is like if it's a wire box or if it's got symbols. But you describe what you see, and it gets really intense because I tried playing with my cousin, and we were able to get a bunch of boxes, but it just gets harder and harder. And I think there's always the 5-minute time limit, or it might get shorter the later in the game. But I described something to him, and there was just the slightest miscommunication, and I cut a wrong wire, and then the time starts going down twice as fast.
Oh,
and
East? I thought you said West.
Exactly. And the hardest one is like when you have to describe the symbols, you're like, it's a C, but it's got a little tail, and there's a dot where the space is, and it's facing the other way, and then there's a 3.
Well, there's your problem.
That's racist.
You had it set to what? You need to have it set to 1 though.
Did you set it to mini?
Did you try setting it to Wumbo?
You have it set for M for mini. You need to set it to W for Wumbo. Wumbo, study of Wumbology. He, she, it, Wumbos.
Yeah, that's oh man, that game, it really gets the heart a pumping. I'm at the point where I'm like, scrolling through my game list, just seeing what I've been playing lately, because I just forget of everything except PUBG and Overwatch.
I can tell you something else I've been doing this week.
Do I want to know?
So
What would that be?
Jess and I did a 1,000-piece puzzle of the ocean. It was very, very pretty, nice and scenic. And
Lots
as
of
we get
blue
towards
pieces.
Oh, everything was a different shade of blue. It was so hard. It took us like 20 hours.
Holy
Well,
But
this one's blue. Better put it next to the other ones that are
no,
blue.
it's either
You mean
blue
the
or
rest of
black.
them?
And when we got down to the end, and all we had left was space, which was black, and a couple of orca whales, which are black. So we had no idea which one was supposed to go to the whale and which one's supposed to go to space. But
Well,
as
whales come from space,
As we-
so it makes sense.
they live on the moon.
As Douglas Adams has taught us, all as the marine biologists, what we call them is charismatic macrofauna, but all those big whales and
What?
dolphins and stuff came from outer space, and they're gonna go back once their time's up
On the
here.
rocket ship.
I
This is
mean,
gonna be like South Park where they send them back on a rocket.
well, in the book and movie, they just kind of jumped.
Do they have feet?
They just kind of jumped and made it back into space.
Jumped with what? What feet are they using to jump?
Not feet, you idiot. They're tails.
Yeah,
That
but
doesn't make
what
sense.
is
Why would they
jumping?
have feet? Wait,
How would they jump?
have you ever seen a dolphin jump out of the water?
Oh, so they jump straight out of the water and into space.
Yeah.
It's called jumping. It's called
Okay.
jumping when they come out
Why
of the
do they
water.
need feet?
I thought.
You don't really need feet to
Yeah.
jump.
See, I pictured them walking on the land.
Speciesist.
You're
I
picturing them like standing on their tail on land,
Are you-
springing
No,
upwards.
I pictured them just having feet walking onto land and then jumping into space.
Yeah, they just sprouted naked man
Like lift
legs.
Okay, how is my reasoning any more ridiculous than this actual theory?
Because dolphins jump out of water.
Well, they don't jump to space. They need feet for that.
Does that mean I can go to space? Should I tell Elon Musk to just stop developing a rocket ship?
Yes. If you
Well-
got feet, you could jump to space. Especially if you're an aquatic mammal.
Well,
Other than space whales,
Okay,
any
so
you guys got any other news?
hold up. Yes, I do. So
Any news stories this week?
yeah, I do. I have one, but I want to get to this picture. So I'm putting together the pieces of this whale and in space, and this is a genuine conversation between Jess and I. I go, look, honey, it's Shamu, the orca. And she said, Shamu's not an orca. It's a whale. I'm marrying that.
As a marine biologist, I'm shaming
I
both
remember. I
of
think
you for.
I think you mentioned that one to me before.
I'm shaming
Probably.
both of you. Her for not knowing orcas are whales, and you for thinking whales need legs and feet to jump to space.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
don't think there. I think there is no winner in this one.
Hold on.
Together,
You're
you
still
guys.
assuming that whales can jump to space.
Hey, all she got wrong was the name.
Yeah.
All you got wrong was thinking that whales need feet to jump.
I still can't
To
wrap my
space.
head around why you think they need to walk onto land and then jump.
How else are you getting to space? Have
Jumping
you heard the
from the
term
water.
below sea level? They're below sea level. If they get on top of the mountain and then jump, they got a better chance of making it.
I think they die on the trek.
What, in space doesn't kill them?
No, it's fine.
But they'd still get to space.
They'll be launched into orbit.
So, enough debating the mechanics of getting charismatic macrofauna to space.
I think you just use a rocket, call it a day.
You know, space whales is going into the description, right?
Oh my god. Space rails are real. And they have no feet.
Space reals. They did 9/11.
Well,
I'm sure I could find a
So-
picture of that too.
so Zach,
God.
I wanted to mention to you and
Yeah.
Paul too. I don't know how much how into retro gaming you are, but I saw all this announcing of the Atari box. Either you guys see
Yeah,
anything about the Atari box?
Oh
I did
shoot,
see that.
they're like kind of copying Nintendo.
Yes, it's
Yep.
basically along the same lines as the NES and SNES Classic. The Atari box, it's going to have modern, it's going to have more modern specs as far as power and the HDMI port. It's going to have USB ports. So it's going to launch with some classic games. I haven't seen what games those would be yet. But also interesting is Atari's venture into mobile gaming. Like they've done Roller Coaster Tycoon. They've released Roller Coaster Tycoon on mobile, the original Roller Coaster Tycoon. So
What?
I'm wondering if that is going to lead them to also release mobile games for this Atari box console, which puts it kind of then in the same line as the other, TV stand mobile platforms like the Shield.
Hmm.
Did any of you guys know what the Shield was?
No, what's
No.
that?
It was from Nvidia, and it was basically mobile gaming that you could plug into your TV.
Okay,
That sounds useless.
like
Pretty much.
crap.
So
What was that one thing
now
called?
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if the Atari library will actually carry this thing or not, or if it will just fall into a list of failed attempts, just like the Shield. And there were a couple other ones like that too.
I
Um,
I feel like honestly, our Atari doesn't have the same nostalgia effect that Nintendo does. But I mean,
No.
honestly, it might be just because I came after Atari and everything, and I didn't grow up like playing Atari at my neighbor's house. I was playing like Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah, Atari is that was kind of before our time.
Right.
That was a little earlier than us.
But
that was more of our parents.
yeah, absolutely.
But
But I just feel like
and they actually one of the options on it, they have two different styles. They have one with the regular more modern looking black glass finish, and they have one with a wood finish to it.
that's pretty
to
sweet.
get that retro feel.
Yeah, I'm with Paul. I think the Atari library may not be able to live up to Nintendo's SNES Classic or even the NES Classic.
But also,
I mean, there are some pretty strong ones there. Like you got the games like Centipede.
yeah,
You're gonna get Space Invaders. The real early classics.
I feel like
the
I feel like
back to the origin of gaming.
they may have the correct execution, wrong timing. I feel like they should have gone about this 10, 15 years ago when
Yeah, it makes you wonder
Yeah.
where they've been.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I have an answer for this. I know where they've been. They've been ruining every other franchise that they own. And that's not a joke. That's a real thing.
Really?
So,
Expand, please.
Elaborate.
have you ever heard of a game called Alone in the Dark?
It sounds familiar.
Sort of.
It is a game in which it was an old MS-DOS game, and it's like pre-Resident Evil type thing. Alone in the
Okay.
mansion, solving a murder mystery. It's creepy, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The newest installment that came out a few years ago on the Xbox 360, also known as Alone in the Dark Illuminations, you are playing co-op, and you have to be in the light to affect all your enemies. So you are not alone, nor are you in the dark.
Wow. Now that's
Alone in the Dark.
Man.
Asterisk.
you don't think they you don't think they could have just gone with another title and just called
No.
it a different game?
They could have.
Well, I mean, they did call it Illuminations.
Yeah. Okay, so all the Alone in the Dark games that have come out in the past few years are garbage. They are so bad. And then they got another game called Haunted House, which is based off an Atari classic with all pixels and nothing. It's I don't know how you reboot a series that was just pixels. It'd be like making Space Invaders into No Man's Sky. Like that is the gap between these games. And then
Wow.
it really
yeah, I'm
is.
looking at it now. And
What
I-
Alone was it?
yeah, I'm looking. It's on Steam. It's $9.99 on Steam. It's got 46% positive reviews, and I'm looking at all the reviews, and all of them are like less than an hour long of playtime because they just can't get into the game.
Yeah, and then the haunted house one. There, it is so buggy. I've seen some gameplay videos where people can't even open doors correctly, and doors that are supposed to be opened and unlocked just won't open.
Oh man, that's the sort of thing that just like companies obviously are going for a cash grab and don't really care about the series or the game.
Yeah, it's basically what Konami's doing
Yeah,
now to
it
Metal
is
Gear
really
Solid.
weird timing for them to do this. You'd think, what might have happened is, they might have seen, because what was it was it a whole year ago now that Nintendo did the NES Classic, or was that 2 years now?
That was last fall, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was last
But
year. So I don't know. Maybe they had a little bit of inside information that Nintendo was doing that, and maybe they said, "Hey, maybe we should do something like that." And then it was just that delay from Nintendo starting that kind of craze. And then this is the result.
That's exactly what I think it is, but I am mad about how Nintendo went about it, because they really shot themselves in the foot. They essentially manufactured that console for a month and then stopped, and they're never going to do it again.
Yeah, they're very limited quantity. There's not many people that actually got one.
And then there's the people who showed up to stores, bought them out, and now they have like 50, not even exaggerating, like 30 to 50 of these consoles that are stocked up in their homes, and then they're asking like $500 for it.
Yeah, because they're limited. All it basically did was create a very expensive collector's item.
Yeah, and so I don't even want to consider getting the new one that Nintendo's doing. I would just get they sell Raspberry Pi kits with all the games and stuff with the emulators.
That's all it really is.
Yeah.
That's all it really is anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
that's about it. It's it's Raspberry Pi technology.
Yeah.
Yep. Just go to coolroms.com.
Yeah.
Search Nintendo and save yourself the money and time.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, man. I mean,
problem solved.
That's what I do for the few N64 games that I play every now and then. I just fire up my laptop. That's all you need. You don't need an actual mini console for it. It's just unnecessary.
If you want like a physical console, go on Amazon, search Raspberry or RetroPie, and the top results are the entire kit with game pads and everything. So for $80, you can get two Super Nintendo controllers, and everything to make your Raspberry Pi, including like a how-to manual, and then you have every single game you want for $80 instead of doing it for $500. You can even get an NES case for your Raspberry Pi to make it look like a mini version of the console, and that's only $20.
Amazon, live better. Amazon, give me some free stuff. I'm not drinking Corona, so I can't get that free this week.
These Coronas were not free.
Your attempts at plugs remind me of Rob Gronkowski when he was on Conan with when it was him and Marshawn Lynch. They were playing Mortal Kombat. I think it was Mortal Kombat X.
If it lasts for more than 4 hours.
He's like, Lipitor. If it lasts more than 4 hours. That's what you remind me of. You remind me of Gronk. So you were on Gronk's level with your advertisements.
Well, did Gronk end up getting the endorsement? Because if he did, then I'm doing it correctly.
I have no idea.
To be fair, there's a slight.
I don't normally watch things that have Lipitor commercials on them. So
I'm not a staunch supporter of Lipitor. Fuck you, Lipitor. It's like Post Malone, who's
I'm not at home to watch Price is Right and Let's Make a Deal and all those random game shows that old people watch in the middle of the day all the time. I don't get to do that, so I don't get to see Lipitor commercials.
It's like a Post Malone. I've never seen that dude without a Bud Light in his hand, and he's not even sponsored by Bud Light. They're really I don't know, hesitant about it because he's only 21. So they don't want to be like, hey, as soon as you turn 21, crush some Bud Lights, crush like 50 of them, because this dude, Post Malone, is never, ever, ever without Bud Lights. Like, in his dressing rooms, they have Bud Light coolers with, like, I don't know, probably 75 Bud Lights in there. Because he's never not drinking a Bud Light. If you don't know Post Malone, he's a rappist. He's a famous rappist who's up and
Like
coming.
Chancellor.
Like Chancellor Bennett.
Yeah,
Chancellor
that
the
guy.
rapper. The rapper. But if you Google or if you go on Post Malone on like YouTube, his videos have here White Iverson's 358 million views. Congratulations, 326 million views. He's this weird looking white dude who makes really good hippity hop music.
Well, all right.
Okay.
Last bit of news that I got for you guys. I read an article about some gaming getting some airtime on regular television.
Oh shoot.
There's on Disney XD. So Disney is
I'm out.
trying to get into some gaming business here. So it's pretty limited to start. It's an experiment. So, and these are going to be in time slots that are like 3 a.m. or whatever. Really odd times. So there's two shows that they're planning on running. There's ESL Brawlers and ESL Speedrunners, which I'm guessing ESL is Electronic Sports League or Esports League.
Yeah.
So the ESL Brawlers. So that's going to be all about the fighting games. So I believe they're going to be Smash Bros. And Street Fighter V. From what I read, the plan is that it's gonna be almost like a Jeopardy, but with fighting games, where they're gonna have a player, they're gonna have two people fighting, and the first one to win 10 matches wins, and they get to stay on for the next show and face a new competitor. So it's gonna be something like that, and then the speed runners. There's no set games, I don't believe, but there's going to be speedrunners that are competing for, either against each other and going for world records on whatever games they're doing. So I just thought that was interesting that they're testing the waters with getting some gaming into some mainstream media as far as television goes. 'Cause, like I know ESPN has started putting on some content about some professional gaming championships and stuff. Like I don't know if I don't remember if they did any fighter games, but I don't recall which ones that they were planning on putting on. It might have been Street Fighter, it might have been a shooter or League of Legends or something like that. But so there's been some forays more recently into some esports on television. What do you guys think? Do you think it's it might be viable? Do you think it might be time for it to start becoming a little more mainstream?
I honestly, all right, I've got to say, I think my biggest hurdle is just that the fact it's called esports. I don't know why. I just don't like that term esports, but I do think it's time that it gets like mainstream viewing and stuff. It's not just like random online streams and stuff. And I feel like it should be on. Well, I say it should be on TV, but I think TV's dying soon. But it should be in mainstream media because the followings are so huge. Not in America. Well, it is getting pretty huge in America now. But like, if you look in South Korea, like those they're professional gamers, and they have like
they're like
groupies.
They're like celebrities.
They're like beyond celebrities.
They're like regular. Yeah,
it's
huge.
it's like if you saw Tom Brady
League of
walking
Legends
down the street.
It's a lot of League of Legends there.
Yeah, lots of
from
League
what
of
I know.
Legends.
They're
for sure.
really popular. Like they are, what the sports stars today are for us. Like like LeBron James and like those types. That's what professional gamers are in South Korea. There,
Yeah,
to those
it's
people.
insane, and it's also pretty huge, and it's getting pretty huge in like Europe. I think Europe's more like CS:GO, But it's just wild to think that people are winning like these $1 million tournaments by
Right.
playing video games.
It's crazy. It's almost like the UFC, mixed martial arts and things like that. How it started out as just this cult following, and not on TV very much, and get a little pay per view here and there. Now it's being thrust more and more into mainstream media. I don't know if you guys follow anything with all this McGregor Mayweather stuff.
Oh yeah.
But just a few years ago, there wasn't a whole lot of this talk. If you go back 5 years, UFC was in mixed martial arts fighting wasn't all that popular.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And it's really blown up.
It's pretty insane to think that. I mean, I am not a really big sports follower in really any sports, honestly, including esports. But even with, like you said, with this UFC, I can't escape the news about it. It's literally everywhere that this huge fight's going down. I think it's like, I don't know, $100 million jackpot or something insane like that. Yeah, it's like there's so much money and such a huge following there that it's impossible to escape. And honestly, I feel like that's what esports are going to be within the next 5 years.
Yeah, it's like that wave. You see the wave coming where everyone else is into it, and it's only a matter of time before it starts getting adapted more and more in our mainstream here in the States.
Totally. And I think, honestly, as much as I hate to say it because I'm not a big fan of Twitch, I think Twitch is going to be like a media powerhouse. Like, it's going to rise, I think, above ESPN.
I mean, and it kind of already has. There's a lot of people that stream so regularly on Twitch that there have been some legal battles with these people's shows. I don't know if it was with the FCC or what legal authority, but yeah, there's been a lot of things going on with the Twitch scene, with how popular they've been, because the people get these huge followings on Twitch doing their streaming and whatever shows they do, and it gets huge, and they do it regularly. Like when they do like so many regular episodes or something like that, then there's apparently some kind of regulation that some random agency is trying to enforce. I don't have all the details. I'm not well versed on it, but I mean, it is something that I have heard about.
Yeah, and it's pretty wild to me. It just seems foreign almost, that it's not like a structured format. You're paying to watch someone play a video game well, essentially. But even like beyond that, there's streamers who just stream their everyday life. I mean, obviously they set up for things to happen and stuff, but like, it's something I honestly hadn't even really thought would get a big following until like, I don't know, about a month or two ago on Reddit, just on the R all feed that includes all subreddits. There's one subreddit called Ice Poseidon. Like, this dude has posts that are consistently in the top couple pages of all subreddits on Reddit, which is, I think Reddit's the 4th biggest site on the internet. And this dude just streams his life. He walks around with a camera on a selfie stick and like does stuff with his friends. It's just like such an interesting turn that media is taking.
Yep, I mean, it'll only become more and more interesting as especially with the rise of smartphones.
Oh, absolutely.
It's you're able to record anything and everything at any time and post it right away, do it live, all kind of things. It's crazy how things have changed, just within the last decade.
Yeah, this was just handed to me. I believe Zakk has good news.
Yeah, so while you guys were talking about that, I was going off and doing some research. And apparently,
nice.
Whales can jump about 30 feet, and fun fact, whale fossils have been found, and whales millions of years ago did once have hind legs. So suck it.
Yeah, they did. And people also had
so
fins.
They're jumping. Yeah, so they're jumping. They jump on 2 feet.
Well, did those legs jump? Is it like elephants? Elephants can't jump.
It does not specify.
Faced.
I think elephants can jump because they do have 4 knees.
If you can show me a video of an elephant jumping, I'll cut off my big toe and give it to you.
All right, making that wager.
Yeah. Van Gogh was the inspiration for this wager.
Twitch. We'll put it on Twitch.
Disclaimer to that wager, it might be my little toe.
Disclaimer, Paul doesn't have a little toe.
Oh, hey, I found a video. Elephant jumping on trampoline.
What the hell kind of trampoline?
I don't think that counts, because if I gave a whale a trampoline, of course they could get into space.
Better give me that toe.
I don't even want it. I'm going to take it and throw it out. It's just the power I feel in that transaction.
So there you have it, everyone. Whales can fly and elephants can use trampolines.
Okay, this
I found the video.
this may or may not be a real elephant, but it is an elephant nonetheless.
How can it not be a real elephant?
Oh, he's doing front flips.
Okay.
This elephant's doing front flips on a trampoline.
It's as much of a dragon as a Chinese dragon with all the people underneath of him.
Yeah, I just found... Wow, he's jumping quite high.
That's crazy.
Cube.
How many flips is this elephant going to do? Oh my god.
Okay, so it's an elephant. Holy
I'm
crap.
gonna
Yeah.
I will post this for you Twitter people. I will tweet this video.
That is an elephant jumping on a trampoline. Although, in all fairness, I think it's CGI rendered.
I'm no professional, but I think by counting the pixels...
I don't think that's a real elephant.
I don't think that's...
Especially when he did the triple front flip and then just walked away. Well, it's starting to get extra silent as we're all fascinated by this video.
Hold on. I have indisputable proof if everyone clicks on that.
Whales with feet. Gas.
Whales have feet, and we've proved it here today.
Whales have feet powerful enough to send them into space.
Speaking of not having a leg to stand on, ooh, what a segue. Man, I'm good at this. Arc. Blue.
What?
I'll cut out all that space. I'll cut out that space.
No, leave it in, man. That was perfect.
Okay.
Just roll with it. Just roll with it.
Have you heard any of the I like Ark, don't you? Have you heard any of the news about Ark this week?
I have not. I have not been following Ark too closely. I've just been kind of quietly been looking for a release date for the full release. Been kind of taking a break. I got other games to focus on now. So yeah, I haven't really heard too much.
Okay. Well, Paul, I have a question for you, and let's get some ideas. And Lou, I'd like to hear from you too. If a game is on early access for $30,
No.
how much do you think the full release should be?
Full release, I mean, at least for PS4, I'd say 60.
I mean,
Didn't you learn your lesson with No Man's Sky?
it's a tough...
For a full PS4 game, they go for 60. They basically all go for 60. So I'd say the Ark would be no different. It should go for 60.
It's a tough... I mean, a few years ago, I totally agree with that, but for me, being in PC gaming for a few years, it's a tough question to answer when there's not only games that are $30 or games that release that are $40, but games that are $10 or $15 that I feel are worth a lot more, like Factorio. I don't know if you guys have heard of that game. I think Zakk has.
Oh, yeah.
Factorio
Yeah,
is an incredible game. It's a very good time sink, and it's just like really well thought through and put together. And I think I picked it up for like $15 or $20 brand new, like not on sale or anything. And I'm way happier with that purchase than Geez, I can't even remember the last $60 game I bought was GTA 5, and honestly, I'm happier with Factorio because it's just like it's hard to quantify the quality of a game to anyone else other than yourself, and it's hard
Mm-hmm.
to because of that it's hard to price a game. Like honestly, I would never ever ever pay $60 for a new fighting game, but that's just not the genre I play. So I think it's really hard to. It really depends on the game. If it's $30 early access, uh, there's a lot of early access games that I don't think should be $30 as well. But that's just my
No.
opinion. It's it.
Let me put this in there
You can't do a hard
for
fast
your
rule.
equation of
All right, let me.
no. But let me throw this out there as well. Since the last update, which was God knows how long, that makes me ill to play, there's not been a major patch that I'm aware of as of now. There's not been a major patch to fix any more bugs in that game, and now it's going to full access, just as buggy as it was in early access.
And
How much do you think that's worth?
What are they raising the price to? $60?
$60 across the board. And here's the kicker. They are not allowed to sell the game on Xbox or PS4 for $60 if the PC version stays at $30. So, on Steam, the price of Ark is going up to $60.
All right, Ark. I considered getting it a while ago when it was like,
Don't get it.
yeah, I know, because
I think it's fun, man. I don't know.
I
I think it's worth it. Honestly, I think it's fun.
it just
If you get into it, it's worth it because there's a lot. I don't know. There's a lot to do.
but even so, objectively, there's tons of bugs, and the game is not complete. You can't call that a complete game, and that's like, that's a trend that I just hate seeing. Like even though I'm not a big fan of the game, it's just the idea that someone can have it early access for $30, get a bunch of money initially, and then jack up the price to $60 while everyone can still prove there's tons of bugs in it, and it's just unethical, and it's kind of skeevy business practices,
I mean,
in my opinion.
Oh,
it's not really. It's not yet released. It's not finished yet. So
but I'm saying when it does release this year, Lou, it's not going to have a major patch to fix it. They're not doing any more with it. Oh, and don't forget the $20 extra DLC that came out while it was in early access, Paul.
Yeah, that's just stuff I hate to see in the gaming industry, but I mean, it's up to whoever. Some people literally spend thousands of hours on those games, and to them, a $60 price tag is nothing because the amount of money you pay per hour of entertainment that you get out of that game, it's really up to it's between whatever consumer and the company, and obviously the company's going to do what makes them most money. So they're not going to charge $100 for the game to sell 4 copies. They're going to charge $60 and sell 4,000 copies or something like that.
Right.
But I just
Well,
don't think.
all I have to say is that it's not a finished game yet, and you don't know what is or isn't going to be fixed in the final release. So you can't really judge it until you have the final product in your hands.
Right. If they fix everything, then good on them. If not, which honestly, just based on past, not even whatever company makes Ark, I don't even know, but just based on
Wild card.
I don't even know that company, but like based on how other companies set the precedent that you can just charge $60 for an unfinished game, and that's how it is like on consoles as well. There's so many day one patches and DLCs and stuff. It's not like if you think back to like Super Nintendo or something, that game had to be done or you couldn't fix it. But now because of the internet, you're able to fix it so you can push broken games and get your money sooner, and it's just not something I'm a fan of. It's obviously it's obvious I don't like any of those practices, but that's just me. And I think a company can charge whatever they want for a game, but they also have to have realistic expectations. They can't expect to sell a ton of copies of a broken game. And at least like, Steam, you're allowed to buy a game and you can play up to 2 hours, or you also have 2 weeks to return it. And essentially it's no questions asked. So it's really I'm glad that there's people cracking down on that as well,
Yeah.
because it's up to the distributor to crack down on that too.
Oh, I agree completely.
Yes.
Well, guys, looks like we're running pretty over on time actually. So I think
Yeah.
it's about time we wrap up this week.
Yep.
Uh,
Did any last
Uh,
words for anybody?
don't do
I
drugs
got nothing. I
except
talked a
for the
lot
fun
today.
ones.
Gold team rules.
Golden rules.
Ah.
Titan Master Race. That's where you'll find me. Destiny 2, Titan Master Race.
Ugh.
You'll find
Next
me
week,
on-
Paul, we gotta.
Go on.
I was gonna say this week I'm gonna have to pick up PUBG so that we can play a bunch and just talk over Lou all of next week.
Yes. PUBG for life.
Go for it.
Lou's like, fuck you guys.
Okay.
Hey man, go for it. I carried it this week.
For sure. Yeah,
You
Lou.
can take next week.
Lou can sit on the sidelines next week. He earned it.
With that, we'll wrap up. Paul, you got anything you want to plug? Any social meteors or anything?
I'll probably be starting a Twitter soon. I have never had a Twitter, so could be interesting.
Neither have I.
Yeah. I'll probably pick
Yeah,
up.
for those of you interested, the Insert Adjective Here gaming Twitter account, it's mostly managed by me.
Yeah.
These guys don't know Twitter.
Yeah. We're
I used it once and it posted a bunch of things about me creating playlists on YouTube.
Yep, just added a video to a playlist. Didn't say anything about uploading it, just letting you know that he moved it. That's all.
This video is over here now. So
Pretty much.
Which those tweets are now gone and uncluttered.
Oh, good.
So
well,
Good.
thank God.
Because it was like 4 or 5 of them in a row.
yeah, I think it was like 3.
And follow my mom on Instagram. Whistlepig Hollow MD. She's got like 3,000 followers.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen them. Some cute little
And
piggies.
you should have her plug her followers to us.
You really should.
Yeah, we'll get
I
a
think
bunch
that
of
would be the more
farmers.
logical thing to do
We'll get a bunch
with
of
our
farmers and
8
chefs.
followers.
Well, that's good. They could debate who's right about this whale thing.
What chefs deal with whales?
Well, I'm going to cut that part out.
The chefs that can jump to space along with the whales.
Yeah, I'm going to have to cut that last part out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, so that's I guess that'll about do it for this week. So Insert Adjective Here Gaming. Check us out on YouTube and also on Twitter at IAH_gaming. And we're also on SoundCloud. It's all about that Insert Adjective Here gaming. So check us out. Give us some likes, follows, views, criticism, comments, anything you want. We'll take it all. We're not that picky.
Nope.
Don't ask us where we take it.
To the shed.
All right. And and on that note, we're going to wrap it up here. That is it for all of us. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.